The reason I'm making this video is actually I'm going to do 5, and they don't really need it, shout outs. And the reason why I'm doing 5 different shout outs, and you can see their links down in the description, is these were my first 5 vloggers that I subscribed to whenever I very first started out, since November 2010. And the reason I'm doing 5 is this is my 500th video. So as a celebration for 500 videos, let's go with 5 motovloggers. This is a thank you, goes out to every which one of them, and none of them is really in order, good to bad. It's just how I remember them. First one, and she really doesn't need an introduction. I followed her back. Actually, I was watching her videos before I even started my channel up. Back whenever I got my Class M endorsement on my motorcycle for my driver's license, motorcycle license. It is the Happy Thought. The Happy Thought. I was watching her taking her motorcycle safety course, and I was going through it at the same time. And it was, it was great to be able to relate to her, to what she was going through. I was watching her videos. It really helped out, I think. But she's a fantastic person. Every time I commented on her, I asked her a question, she answered right back, no problem. But I can't say anything negative at all. She is just a great person. Number 2. That would have to be, and this is going to be a long one. That would have to be Navy Thomas 8. I subbed to him very early on. And the way I taught myself basically how to ride a motorcycle, and it was by watching all your motovloggers, all the older motovloggers. The way the cameras are pointed, you could see the hands, you could see what they're doing on, as far as the dash and everything, the lights going off and everything else. And I basically taught myself the basics just by watching them. Navy Thomas 8, I would ask him questions. I'd ask him, well, why was this, why'd you do this? How do you do this? And he would, bam, answer, no problem. Bam. We got to be very, very, very good, say, acquaintances back then. Him and I grew in friendship. And I don't use friend lightly. I do not, that's something I do not do. Him and I got together a few years back for the first time face to face. He was the very first, pardon me, my chair shifted on me. He was the very first motovlogger I ever met face to face. And that was because we made a deal up for me to pick up the goat, get the goat. And I was very, very nervous getting off the airplane. In fact, it was the very first, that was the very first for a lot of things for me. I've never flown on an airplane before. I was very nervous to even get on an airplane. It wasn't nervous to the point where I needed drugs to get me on the airplane or anything, but I was very nervous to get on the airplane. But whenever I got off of the airplane, walked down the ramp, down the hallway to where I seen this crazy alien old man standing, and it was like we just seen each other just a few minutes before that. It was just like everything clicked. It was so awesome. he walked me out. We went out to the bus that transported you over to the parking lot, and there was the goat. And I'll never forget the very first freaking time I got on a freaking goat. She was so tall to me. She was such a freaking big, heavy pig to me, riding around the parking lot. And I was having such a freaking ball with her. I mean, I was nervous as heck, but I was having a ball with her, getting to know her. And Tom's like, you know what? It's time for us to get out of here. We gotta get home. So we headed out, and he even stopped. We got to pick up some gas. Picked up a sandwich, sat there for a while, just BSing, having a great time. It was like, well, let's skip to the next day. We went out and got some breakfast, hit the road, and it was like we were thinking so similar. Our riding styles were so close, and I think a lot of it was from me watching him on his videos. And of course, I learned from truck drivers how to drive a car and what to look for and stuff. But we were basically just in sync, and I mean, I felt like I was basically being an anchor to him because I was riding in the back because I didn't know where I was going. But he had no problems with it. It was just a fantastic ride. I wish I would have known that he liked Michelle Obama so much. I would have tried gotten some pictures for him, and I mean, I could have at least written to her and say, hey, can I have some autograph pictures for my friend NT8? I mean, it would have been nice for him, you know, but I guess he just didn't bother telling me. I don't know why. I mean, I think he has a thing for her. But we've been basically best friends ever since then. Nothing negative to say. He is, I mean, he's closer. He's like a very good close brother to me. So nothing negative to say. He's a very great guy. I mean, if you haven't just stopped and asked him questions, if you got one for him, ask him. He'll answer. It might be a little bit of a wise ask questions that answer at first, but normally not. He's pretty cool. Number 3. Now this guy I actually found through Navy Thomas 8. Suburban Rider, or I like to call the mayor. He's very knowledgeable. He puts up the TDD report almost every Sunday. The only time he does it is whenever he's not home. And sometimes whenever he's not even home, he puts one up. But very wise guy. I mean, not smart wise. I'm talking about smart ass wise. I'm talking about he's very smart. He's answered a lot of my questions to get me started out, along with NT8 about software what software to use, how to use it, different cameras. In fact, both NT8 and Suburban Rider helped me decide on my very first HD camera, which was the Sony Bloggie. It worked out fantastic for me. Looking back now, though, with the GoPro, yeah, the Sony Bloggie did a good job, but the GoPro is so much more superior, of course. But I still have that Sony Bloggie, and I still use it on a regular basis. But I mean, there's nothing negative to say about him. I've met him face to face. In fact, he was the second motovlogger that I met face to face. He actually had me let me stay at his house for a week, I think it was, maybe a little over. Got to meet his wife, his family, fantastic people. But yeah, nothing. I mean, I can't say enough good about either one of them. I really can't, and I can't say enough good about the mayor's family. I mean, they're just fantastic people, and I really appreciated them letting me stay over for about a week. And I went to the first motor vlogger meetup that I've ever met up with, and it was actually on the goat, and it was a lot of firsts for me on that trip. Actually, that trip. And this is not. This goes off a little bit with the mayor. This is with NT8, and he. It was the. For example, the first steel graded bridge that seemed like it went on forever to me because the bike was just going all over the place, and like they do on steel graded bridges, and it was like, wow, and it was just horrifying at first, and you were out like for the first time, and it was like you're so relieved whenever it was over. It was just one of those deals. Oh, first time I ever got so close to a nuclear reactor stack. NTA. It was, I mean, there's a lot of firsts with NTA. And what's Suburban Rider? Okay, let's go to that'll be number 4. Number 4. This guy I met shortly after I met Suburban Rider. And the reason why I'm bringing him as number 4 was this guy gifted me my very first camera. Back whenever I first subbed him, and the reason I subbed him was I really liked his riding style. I noticed that he wasn't using the high-tech cameras. And I really enjoyed that because I was starting off on a very low budget. And he was using the MT80 clone. Now, no, it's not HD, but it let me get my feet wet to see, hey, do I like this or not? Do I want to spend time editing the videos, trying to think of topics and stuff? And I still don't think of topics. I just go with the flow. But this guy would be BigBillChiczgo. I met him. He is one giant of a guy. He's got a giant heart. He is huge to start with, physically. I mean, I've seen pictures of him whenever he was standing, basically going to sit on the goat, and the goat looked like a little toy. It looked like a Harley Rebel, a Honda Rebel. Sorry about that, Harley. The Honda Rebel to him. I mean, he was just so huge. Right now, he is MIA. His bike is, last time I heard, was in the shop getting worked on. He's been having problems with that bike since, well, for a few years now. But I love every video that he puts up. I mean, I'm like, wow, BigBillChiczgo has got one up. I'm right there. I always try to be the first one on there if I can. But I mean, he's a great guy. There's nothing that can be said negatively to him about him. He's negative, nothing, and that's why it goes with a lot of you viewers and motovloggers I've met. There's nothing I can't say negative, and that's part of being in our group. We are such a good, tight group. Hopefully, nothing will ever split us up. I know there was some arguing and fighting. I hope you can't hear that. Winds pick up pretty bad. I know there was some incidents in the recent past, but I hope we as a group that we stay rock strong. Number 5. Now this guy, he might be a little known. He hasn't vlogged for a very long time. He put 1 or 2 videos up and he'll disappear. And this one is KDY4SI. Oh, remember, down in the crankcase be his link. It's Toni. And one of the reasons why I'm mentioning him, he was within the first 5. He had a lot of experience with the KZs, which I was basically rebuilding a KZ from a junkyard find, and he was very, very nice, helpful to me, trying to figure out what to do for this problem, what to do for that problem, and it was, I mean, we spent hours and hours and hours on the phone, on Google Talk. I mean, we were there just chatting away, and we got along so well. I mean, it really worked out, and he was putting out steady videos back then. He is MIA right now also, but I'm hoping down the line he will be coming back. I've talked to him. We'll just put out his MIA, and I think he's hoping to come back soon. But it's just life. But those are the first 5, and they were within the first 5 that I subbed in our group. 5 motovloggers for 500 videos. Now, we'll say on top of them in celebration of 500 videos, I am currently at 327 subs, which is a lot more than I expected by this time. And I'd like to thank you go out to all of you. I appreciate the support, and I know I have right around 60 constant viewers, and I really appreciate you guys. It's really fun to comment back and forth. You never know what's going to come up. You never know, and it's funny as hell. But this is MuzzleMike on my 500th video for the 500th time. This is MuzzleMike. I'd like to say, MuzzleMike signing out. Have a great day, guys.